Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. It's a pleasure to be your speaker and to be your best speaker. That's my prerogative. So I'm expecting my ribbon. Has anybody here ever avoided the opportunity to speak in public? If so, raise your hand. Has anyone here been afraid of the thought of speaking in public? If so, raise your hand. Has anyone here sat in the back row of a class so you wouldn't be called on by the...
That's different.
and therefore have to speak? Well, I think we're all in the right place. All of us are here because we had some fear or concern, or maybe terror of public speaking. And the beautiful thing about Toastmasters is that this is the cure. In my case, I had an opportunity to give a talk in 1984, which raised my fear to DEFCON 5. And what it was I came here in 1981 to practice medicine. I did a lot of work with patients one-on-one, but I really wasn't out there speaking in public. And I was called by my colleagues at Yale University, where I'd started the physician assistant program in 1970, 14 years before, if I would be so kind or interested in giving the commencement address. So my first reaction was, oh, that feels good to my ego. Sure, I'll do that. Well, this was about 3 months in advance. I didn't quite ever get to the fetal position, but in the course of the 3 months before that, I began to have more and more worry. I wrote it out, I worked on it, I thought about it. I said to myself, why did I ever agree to do this? Because I'm going to be speaking in front of all my old friends, the dean of the medical school, all these eyes will be looking at me, they'll be judging me. What if I screw up and humiliate myself? Oh my God. So I got to New Haven the night before, they put me up in this hotel. I don't think I got a minute of sleep. I was tossing and turning, getting up, looking at my speech, going back. Maybe I was in the fetal position for part of the time. At any rate, it was a miserable night. I got up, I think it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I read my speech, essentially. But I think I did a fairly good job because people said, oh, it was wonderful. It was so great to hear all the nights of praise. What was my feeling? It wasn't elation. It was relief. Oh, my God, after 3 months, it's over. So I thought, if I ever get a chance to speak again, I'm going to hide out and just stay in the Monterey Peninsula, because 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes of fame and applause just wasn't worth 3 months of agony. And this was something I knew about. Well, then here, I was talking to a very good friend, here being the Monterey Peninsula. I was talking to a very good friend, Mary Lineberger, who some of you remember, who was a member of this club, and we knew each other through other means, and somehow we got on the subject of public speaking, and she said, my life has been changed since I came to Toastmasters. She graduated from what was then the Monterey Institute of International Studies, MIIS. She had a little job in the back as an assistant because she was shy and she could do that. But then she came to Toastmasters, and she became so good at public speaking that when a job opened up at MIS for someone to be the international recruiter for all of MIS and travel all around the world and sell MIS and why you should come, they said, Mary, you're the perfect person to do that because you're so good. Her life changed because she was such a good speaker. She's gone on to start Toastmasters clubs in Haiti and Lebanon and all kinds of other places, do all kinds of wonderful things. So that's an example of Toastmasters, and she said, you really ought to go. So 2006, took me a few years to get around to it, and it was so unfolding. Arnie was president, Carl was Carl, Thorny was Thorny, and it's my prerogative to have some fun with them because they're going to have some fun with me, I'm sure. And what was so remarkable was how well organized everything was, how happy everybody was, how disciplined everybody was. And I got into the manuals that are now becoming old-fashioned, but the Competent Communicator Manual, where you have 10 speeches, beautifully thought out by the people who planned this, where you learn something different each time, and the Competent Leader Manual, where you get strokes and instructions for how to do the various roles that you've been hearing. So I did this. I jumped in with both feet, became more comfortable, began to learn some of the Toastmasters tricks, like we always feel more nervous than we look, that if we get nervous, we just breathe here in the abdomen, and all the nerves quiet down. And then if we get a mentor, and Arnie was my mentor, I didn't have the courage to ask him for that until the 7th speech. But somehow it's harder to ask a mentor than it was to give the speech. Fetal position, yeah, that's right. Okay, so I finally did that. I got to my 10th speech, and I was getting into such a roll that I decided I'm going to wing this and sing my speech. So I did Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be my neighbor? And then I went on to My Fair Lady, a few of my favorite things, and pointed to all kinds of people. And it was a hit! And everybody celebrated and said, wow, that was good. Even Carl said that was one of the best number 10s I've ever heard. Woo! That's called thriving, and that's the next level we can get to. When we learn to speak, when we find our voice, might be a singing voice, might not be a singing voice, but it is our voice. So I went through the advanced manuals, got involved in leadership roles outside the club, met all kinds of other exciting Toastmasters, learned a lot more, and then moved outside the club. I was president of something called the Asian Art Society of the Monterey Peninsula, where I had to introduce people. I got involved in the PA History Society and became president of that, had to give speeches. Now I give commencement addresses and all kinds of talks all over the place. It's all because of Toastmasters. That's called thriving. Mr. Toastmaster.